How to Act. Part 1. Managing Expectations. In itself, this is an ambitious and arrogant sounding title for a podcast. How to Act. This commentary is not going to provide the key to unlocking some hidden talent. Talent itself is an unhelpful word. It implies a birthright or some divine inspiration. Yes, it is true that some individuals are able to master techniques within a craft more rapidly than others. Yet we are all capable of reaching the same levels of brilliance through an additional investment of time and effort. Do not delude yourself, or be deluded by others, that there is a shortcut to great acting. Most great performances are swan-like, insofar as the performer appears to be gliding through the play, while beneath the waters they are frantically paddling. Ironically, most artistic endeavors are not complicated. They just require time and effort. It is a lack of patience and devotion to the task which proves to be the undoing of most aspiring actors. The first disclaimer of any acting course should be, one size does not fit all. Each actor comes with their own foibles and fallibilities. Each new role has a series of challenges unique to that performer. What works for you will not necessarily work for me. Our solutions may radically differ, as well as our performances, yet each may be equally as effective for an audience. It is those very differences of interpretation which are celebrated, for they allow us to reinterpret classic roles, creating diversity and originality within the creative arts. Actors will often use a similar methodology in preparing for a role, but will sequence and vary these techniques according to personal taste. Sometimes solutions can come from very random sources, but the one constant is that the actor is proactive in addressing the challenge. The most satisfying and constructive solutions will come from yourself. Waiting for someone else to provide the solution can often present you with inappropriate, poorly articulated, or easily misinterpreted advice. It's better to view a director or a teacher as a sounding board for ideas, rather than the one who initiates the concept of how to play your role. Equally so, do not be fooled into thinking that you can apply the same solutions to different problems and expect the same outcome. Each role is different. Techniques, games, and acting regimes can be learned, but ultimately you should only use what is necessary for the demands of that immediate role. The next role will in all likelihood present different problems. Sometimes drama training can have a profoundly negative impact. It can create a paranoia in the artist, where any helpful objectivity gives way to constant criticism and deconstruction. It can reach a point where the actor sees challenges where there are none and loses their own sense of good and bad practice. Roles can be overanalyzed. The process itself can become divorced from the performance and the audience, and the actor can tie themselves in knots of self-doubt and pretension. More often than not, we should be aiming to take something that on the surface seems complicated or obscure and simplify it for ourselves and for our audience. Unfortunately, drama training can sometimes have the opposite effect. Even my words should be greeted with a healthy skepticism. If you do find a resonance in what I'm saying, or if it provokes positive action, then good. But this is a poor substitute for your own discoveries. What happens in your art and your sense of your place in relation to it must have its foundations in your own thought process and instincts. Too many actors define their enjoyment of the acting process purely by the success of the outcome. It was a big audience, they applauded, therefore it was worthwhile. Yet that kind of attitude tends to overlook the importance of developing as an artist. The exploration of styles and genres. You are much more inclined to derive artistic satisfaction if you focus on the whole experience. Art for art's sake, if you will. With the right work ethic, you can make significant improvements in a relatively short period of time from a seemingly inexperienced starting position. There is no monopoly on talent. Some may be blessed with wealth, good contacts, and luck, but all of those are minor factors compared with the impact that dedication has to your art. Much of that is about grabbing or making opportunities rather than passively waiting for an epiphany. There is no guarantee that you will become a wealthy actor, but everyone has the capacity to become a highly skilled performer. There is an intrinsic fairness with live theatre, insofar as a good performance is always the result of hard work. The majority of this effort is not always invested in the short rehearsal period. It may occur in private or as a result of meticulous incremental preparation. But it does happen somewhere. Remember the image of the swan? Equally so, a bad performance is the actor's fault, not the director's or the designer's, certainly not the audience or the critic. It is the stage actor's error. Arguably, a movie actor can legitimately claim that they were poorly edited, but not so for a stage actor. The relative competence of your colleagues can impact on the ease of the process, but the hard graft and the subsequent plaudits are yours to achieve. This sense of proportioning blame is important. You have to take responsibility for your own performance. In doing so, you will liberate yourself artistically. You say to yourself, this problem is mine, but the capacity for the solution is also mine. I do not need to rely on a director or a teacher or an audience to tell me how to improve. Your learning is at its most accelerated when you take control or when you are in the act of performing. In fact, our reliance on external commentary to validate what we do can sometimes dampen our own initiative and creativity. In seconds, a good teacher can identify areas of weakness in a performance and articulate precisely what you need to do to improve. But when the solution comes from them rather than from you, the actor, you start to lose the organic nature of your performance. This is not an issue if you're looking for a quick fix prior to a curtain up or an exam, but in the long term, it means that you are unlikely to have learned much from the experience. Indeed, should a similar problem occur again, you may struggle to find the solution by yourself.